If you keep downplaying and shrinking yourself and let people walk all over you just because you're different or being labeled by society as unaccepted and unworthy, this is your sign to build that confidence for you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Statics podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you, and it says so much about your commitment to becoming the best versions of yourself. Without a further ado, let's start this episode. If you are a member of an LGBT community, or maybe you're a straight man or a woman, here is a reminder that you can be confident no matter what is your gender. So don't you ever downplay yourself just because you're different or unaccepted by them. You don't need their acceptance and validations to be confident. And here's the three things you actually need to build that unshakable confidence. Stop sticking to the label we give to you. Instead, craft your own label of who you are and what you are. I remember an episode in Gossip Girl when Serena once said to Blair Waldorf that people don't tell you who you are. You tell people who you are. So this is exactly my point. In first point is start knowing yourself and start owning yourself. Allow me to repeat that. Start knowing yourself and start owning yourself. Because once you know who you are, people can't just label you or tell you who you should be and what you just can be. Because knowing yourself is one of the powerful method of building that confidence. And when I also say start owning yourself, this is where the time you take all the accountabilities and responsibility towards your actions. Whether it turns out good or whether it turns out bad, you take full ownership and accountability to it. Because that's when the time you feel the confidence, the real confidence for you. Because you're not just claiming what's good things that are happening in your life, but you are also reclaiming even the worst and bad things that are happening in your life. And that's so important. We have to embrace ourselves, even the worst part of it, because that's where truly real confidence comes to a part. Now, let's proceed to the second one. Start showing off for yourself and pouring back to yourself. This is where the phase of instead of constantly proving yourself to others, start improving yourself. Do you have at least basic routines on a daily basis? Are you constantly showing off for yourself? Are you committing to the words you tell to yourself? Because how can we be confident if you have nothing to prove to yourself? So let's go back to the core. When I ask you the questions, do you even have routines? I'm not saying this grandiose routines or this social media routines that they've been showing you or how routines should be. What I'm saying is routines that is basic or that is bare minimum even that you are constantly showing up or doing. Even a simple skincare routines or even a simple workout routines. It doesn't need to be a gym. It just need to be at your home. Even a 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even a 20-minute routines will somewhat help you to improve and build that confidence for yourself. And how can we be confident if we have nothing to prove to ourselves? And if you have the proof that I showed up for you, I do this for you, and I owe it to you, that's when the time that you also build the portfolio of proof. That portfolio of proof is originated from Tamka or podcasts and YouTube videos that if you have that portfolio of proof, you have more proof to yourself that I showed up for you, I showed up this day, I showed up even when I don't feel like showing up. And that's when the time that you realize that I never abandoned myself, even on days that I don't want to show up, or even on days I didn't want to do things that will actually fuel me. And when you have built that portfolio proof for yourself, that's when a time that you gain that confidence. Before finishing the second point, allow me to leave you a quote by Jim Rohn. Your self image isn't built by what you say, or what you wish, or what you intend. It is built by what you do. So let's head it on to the last point, which is the third point is focus on improving your internal confidence. First, allow me to elaborate what the difference between internal confidence and external confidence. Internal confidence is how you feel inside, and external confidence is how you appear outside. So when I say focus on improving your internal confidence, I'm not saying you're not going to build your external confidence. When I say focus on improving your internal confidence, I'm not saying you're not showing up or going to build your external confidence. But external confidence alone is not enough. And what are the examples of external confidence? External confidence might be you doing the skincare or doing the workouts to achieve a certain types of body. And that's really important, and it's so important. But external confidence alone is not enough because if you focus solely on external confidence, you're building a prettier or handsome version of yourself with the same insecurities. So I wanted to call this phase or this process of healing, or this is more of internal work. So healing itself is building internal confidence is like journaling, accepting or healing the part of you that you haven't accepted, or the version of you that you might be suffering until now. So internal confidence is healing what you feel inside. Yes, yes, when I say healing, you can go to therapist, you can try the shadow work prompt journaling, or you can try solo dating yourself, going out with yourself. Like when you go back to the core, when I first say that it's so important to know who you are. And the part of knowing who you are, and the part of knowing who you are is also exploring and healing who you are. And that's really important in building that confidence. And that's it, the three important process of building the unshakable confidence, knowing, improving, and healing. Here is your reminder that confidence is not something we wait for it to arrive, but it is something that we constantly working on and building for it to be more unshakable and unbreakable. So this is the time to build that confidence for yourself. That's it for today's podcast episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your learnings, and what you want to hear more from me. I love you and I'm proud of you. And I'm rooting for you. Until then, see you on the next episode. Bye.